So here you see a diagram of the various skull designs. At the top, you see the anapsid version of the skull, and that's what you're going to find in turtles, in tortoises and turtles. So all chelonians are going to have that kind of a skull. Although what you'll notice is that on some more advanced turtles, they will take this posterior margin of that dermocranium and sort of invaginate it. And by doing that, that then provides room for the temporalis muscle to bulge out. So they're sort of cheating a little bit. They can get a quite robust temporalis muscle, which now has room to bulge. But the temporalis muscle does not have its origin on the surface here, so that it's all going to be underneath, unlike what you find in mammals. The diopside condition, which is what you find in birds, dinosaurs, and modern reptiles, is this one right here, where you have two temporal fossa. And it's important to look at which bones surround these. So you have the squamosal in the back, the quadratojugal on the bottom, then you have the postorbital and the parietal up above. There is another version of this, which I don't have illustrated here, but it's these bones surrounding those two temporal openings that we want to pay attention to. Now let's look at what we find in mammals, and that's referred to as the Synapsid Design. And here you see this opening. It's surrounded by the squamosal, just as we had over here, the quadratojugal, just as we had over here, the jugal, just as we had with the diopsid design, the postorbital, just as we had with the diopsid design. But notice that the parietal is way up here. There is another design, or there are actually a couple of other designs in which there are just single openings, and that's the euryapsid and the parapsid. Notice what happens in the euryapsid, that temporal opening. Now you have the parietal on the top, right? Squamosal on the bottom, okay, and then postorbital on the bottom on the other side. So the bones that are surrounding this temporal fossa are different from what you're finding in the synapsid. So if you find a fossil that has but one temporal opening, it's pretty easy to determine whether it's a mammal, a synapsid, or whether it's a euryapsid. So there are other reptilian designs that had these sorts of scenarios, which went extinct long ago. Now, what's interesting, if you look at the evolution of the mammals, the earliest mammals were the mammal-like reptiles. Those are the Thoraxid reptiles. From the end of the Permian, they made it into past the end Permian mass extinction event. And if you look at the Thoraxid reptiles, they have a synapsid skull design. And that's the group that ultimately gave rise to the mammals.